I want you to be as open-minded and objective as possible about what I'm about to say.
I feel like I'm a pretty open-minded dude.
I feel like you are too. But I really want you to like really be open-minded on this one.
I want you to really open your mind on this one. Okay, let's hear it.
And I consumed almost no content on this, but I just literally remember we were talking about daydreaming, and then I told you some examples of daydreaming, and you're like, "That's just thinking." And I was like, "Oh yeah. You're right."
Was that on the podcast?
No, that was just on a call. And I did this recently, so it wasn't daydreaming; it was just thinking. And I don't necessarily want an answer because I think I know what you could say here. That's like, well, this is why this happened. But I want you to go a layer deeper than your initial instinct here.
Man, I feel like you're really building this up for me to have quite the reaction, and it's not going to go the way you or anyone wants. All right, let's see.
I'm trying to think of an analogy to open.
You want to grok it?
No. I'm confused as to how the entire evidence-based fitness community got stuck in this position where they're glorifying seed oils as this amazingly healthy source of fat. I'm very confused because based on all of the research, all of the evidence, all of the nutrition courses I ever took, everything I ever knew, there's a hierarchy of healthy fats with monounsaturated fats being the king.
MUFAs?
And with omega-3 polyunsaturated fats being the queen, with a higher omega-3 to omega-6 polyunsaturated fat ratio being better than a lower ratio between those two polyunsaturated fats, with saturated fats being less healthy than all of the above, although fine in certain quantities, and with trans fats like kind of being at the end of like, let's try and avoid those.
Don't eat those.
Somehow, I just, and maybe it's because of what's going on in politics and yada yada, but somehow when I see anything about seed oils, it's very smart people talking about how great seed oils are and like citing like 1 or 2 or 3 studies about the benefits of seed oils. Almost because they need to stand in opposition of the carnivore bros who are like, saturated fat and meat only is incredible for your health, and seed oils are the devil and they're awful. And then these like smart like science people had to jump and be like, no, seed oils aren't awful. They have this benefit, this benefit, this benefit, this benefit. But in all of that discussion, we seem to have lost our way that monounsaturated fats and omega-3 polyunsaturated fats are both way healthier than seed oils. And even if I look at, like I was at your house recently, big avocado guy, like big olive oil guy. These are great sources of monounsaturated fats. Big salmon guy. Like that's your favorite protein source. So clearly you're a big omega-3 polyunsaturated fat guy. You're a big monounsaturated fat guy. I'm just confused as to how all these geniuses who I really love and respect, kingpins of the industry, are like staking their life on omega-6 fatty acids that are like, not bad, but I don't know. I feel like that energy should be going into promoting the real healthy fats instead of saying these like so-so fats are actually really not bad at all. And yes, we don't want to damage people's relationship with, like, I understand how many routes we can take to defend this behavior. I just think we need to go back to first principles and put the real healthy fats at the top of the totem pole.
Dude, number 1, that's an amazing clip right there. That's going to be sick.
Okay.
Number 2, I completely agree with you. I'm also like, keep in mind, forefront of my mind of my thoughts are, all right, how can I keep an open mind to this? And how can I have a real reaction? So I'm trying to like also get the reaction that you want, but also I completely agree with you. here's what I think, and I'm hoping I'm giving you what you want. I think there's no question that the like monounsaturated fats are king. We know that. I think there are two major things happening. Number one is you have the very loud carnivore bros, saturated fat is king, seed oils are the devil, are being super, super loud. So then you have these very smart people on our quote unquote side who are trying to defend it. And what's happening is, as they're defending it, and they started off just by saying, listen, they're not bad for you. I wouldn't recommend making them your sole source, but they're not bad for you. That started off with that, and then they started getting really good engagement. People started being like, for example, I had Ben Carpenter on my podcast, and he spoke a lot about seed oils. I put seed oils and maha in the title because that's what we spoke about. Mm-hmm. But when I say this podcast went absolutely viral, like it was featured front page Spotify, like wow. Now it's the second most downloaded podcast. John Deloney is the first, but like virality beyond belief on these two topics, like seed oils, maha type stuff.
Okay.
So I think that they started off basically doing what you said, but then with the virality of the topic and getting insane engagement, then they're like, well, let me go deeper on it now. And I think that's what it has sort of morphed into.
Okay.
Not necessarily because in their logical recommendations, in their logical brain, based on, they're not saying we need more seed oils. I think it's because they're like, oh, this is getting a lot of traction. Let's talk about it a lot more. And then that's what it has morphed into. And then they're like, and all the research shows that there's actually health benefits to it and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, yeah, like, I get it. I know what you're saying. But also, like, what you should be doing is using that to lead into, but by the way, if we want to talk about the best options, we should be having more salmon. We should be having more avocado. We should be having more olives and olive oil. Like, that should be the discussion, but it's not going there because for any number of reasons, but I think engagement is the main reason we're seeing what we're seeing.
Jordan, in 227 episodes, you just gave the best answer you've ever given, because audience capture among people talking about seed oils was not even remotely on my radar as far as a potential reason as to why what is happening is happening. So thank you.
Good.
It wasn't even on my radar. Makes total sense. You see audience capture work in so many ways where people talk about a certain thing, it gets great engagement. So you talk about that thing more, it gets even better engagement, makes sense for business. Now I understand it better.
That's what I would imagine, especially in today's social media economy where like people are fighting to figure out what posts are going to do well, what topics are going to do well. It's like, that's what I would imagine.
Thank you. Great answer.